All right. Hey, Summoners, we are back. The IPL killing spree.
Yeah.
Man, it was just a dominant first match.
I was very surprised.
Yeah.
I'm just going to...
we are getting in the game currently. But, yeah, Curse winning over CLG. What's the final score in kills? Was like 12-2? Something around that area?
Well, I think it actually a little bit past that for some
it was
late
just...
game kills. But the real key is just great map awareness, ward coverage all over the place, and you know, I don't know, they took control of the game, and I don't know what else you can say.
Yeah, and both teams really went out to have that really aggressive play style, and when that happens, you just only one team can be more aggressive than the other, and it really did come down to the junglers.
Yeah.
Just Rammus just couldn't be as effective as Maokai was being.
And then also, we saw Irelia kind of quit top. I mean, they were trying to, I know it was partially they were trying to figure out ways to get back into the game.
Yep.
But she was kind of roaming around for quite some time, so Riven ended up like 70 CS above Irelia, and it was
ridiculous
because Irelia was roaming, and unfortunately, because they had great ward coverage, Irelia couldn't accomplish anything with it.
Right, and so everyone just kind of left top lane alone, and when that happens, when you leave top lane alone, someone just starts a free farm, and that's never good. That's never good. Yeah. So just a reminder out there to everyone, we are giving some stuff away, so do please follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/IPLLOL, and on Twitch, twitch.tv/IPLLOL. Then here's what you got to do, because we have some Razer mouse pads, and we also have our IPL hoodies. We're going to be giving some of these away. So all you need to do is you need to hop on Twitter, at IGN Pro League, and give us a quick @reply and tell us who you think is going to be winning this series. Yeah, and Curse is off to a good start. And gotta say,
once again, this is the IGN Pro League Killing Spree series. Yep. It is a King of the Hill setup. So the winner of this match will be taking home $300. I'm the Red Baron. This is at HatPerson.
Hello.
So definitely check us out on Twitter. I'm actually at BaronCast, and this is at
HatPerson.
But we are going to be starting this game shortly.
Who's getting everyone? Everyone is in the game. We're just waiting for everyone to come back, possibly getting their snacks, getting whatever they need to get done. And it looks like a CLG will be having first pick this time.
Yeah. And it should be interesting to see how CLG looks to, kind of change this kind of situation. It did a little bit of bad mojo that last game.
Yeah.
But primarily, I think it's that they need some...
Yep.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
Primarily, I think it's that we need, they need some more early game strength. And they picked Kennen for the early game strength. It didn't really avail them anything.
No.
I don't know, maybe, more aggressive top lane.
And then Riven goes.
Well, there you go.
Right
that's
away
a really easy way to solve that.
That is the best way to solve that problem.
Yeah.
Is just ban it outright, and followed up by the Vayne ban from Curse. They were really not fond of Vayne.
Yeah, well,
do not want anyone to get Vayne.
I think it's the big thing is they know how strong Doublelift is at AD carry and at farming those AD carries. Graves very effective, just a really strong champion. But Vayne is just a monster when you allow Vayne to get out of control. So they don't even want to have to deal with it.
Right.
Once again, a Shaco ban. So that aggressive jungle is gone. I don't know if Curse has been playing a lot of Shaco or just that aggressive kind of champion. They want to take that out of the way.
Yep. So Nidalee, again, we really Curse really just does not want to see the hot shot Nidalee. And I'll say again, I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit.
Yeah.
No one wants to see that. Well, no, the fans want to see that, but as a player...
At the same time, thinking back to that last game, I don't know that Nidalee, would have been very effective.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been either, really.
Because they lost really early, it snowballed out of control, and Nidalee needs farm.
Yes.
Before Nidalee gets some items, not really that effective of a champion anymore. So if they allowed, CLG to take Nidalee instead of Irelia, that would affect their team fighting capabilities. It would give them more poke, and it would give them the heals to kind of kite. And maybe that's what they're concerned about, is that they want to be really aggressive, pushing into these towers, and Nidalee maybe stalls that a little bit.
All right, so the last two bans are Yorick and Rise, and CLG will be taking Maokai, possibly to show, get back at Curse a little bit, show them, how it's done.
Yeah, and that's definitely a good decision. CLG,
yes.
They did have the first pick, and so they didn't need to ban Maokai. but you know, they recognized how much of an impact he had the previous game, so we'll see whether or not that switch is just kind of devastating for Curse. It should be interesting to see who they go with their junglers. There's still a number left. You know, we do have like Skarner and you know, Udyr. Just really anyone could be. We actually Rammus, so yeah. Curse might be picking Rammus and just swapping junglers here.
We could, but I'm liking the. So we got Kennen and I like Rumble. Rumble's a solid top.
Yeah,
solid top lane.
I was thinking a second ago that CLG might want to be taking Rumble just because, you know, Rumble does very well against melee champs if you can keep your distance. The one thing is that Riven, very good gap closer, so you know does pose something of a threat for Rumble. Rumble really would struggle in that lane for the first like probably 5 levels, but after that, you know, Rumble just has fantastic damage. Running the double AP, Curse is actually doing that, and they have Kennen with the Rumble, which is just a fantastic combo. Tons of AoE damage, and you know, Graves isn't going to be able to sit there and deal his DPS because of the long-range ultimates.
Yep. So I mean, we're seeing, you know, we're still seeing like the AoE combos. So we got Kennen, the AoE gets some stuns off. We got Rumble.
Yeah.
Got that ult, get some slows off. So let's see, CLG now going with the Graves Sona combo.
And it also should be interesting. Rumble is a very aggressive laning champion. He kind of struggles against more aggressive laning champions because he is very weak through the early levels of the game. Well, Hotshot doesn't like playing, you know, generally aggressive laning champions. He'll play some, but you see a lot of Cho'Gath. You see, you know, Nidalee, very passive champions. Irelia, they kind of just sit in lane and farm. I don't really know where he's going to go. Riven would actually be a pretty interesting pick, but you know, if you allow Rumble to farm, then I don't know. Rumble can really just take over a game.
Yeah, so I see a lot of Rumbles also go. Actually, we can see Rumble and Kennen both go for early revolvers.
Yeah,
that would be that's one hell of a combo. Because you know you both have that huge boost of AP. You both get that spell vamp.
And another thing that Rumble does particularly well is countering kiting teams, and that ultimate, it's that massive AoE slow. You know, they did have Sona for Elementz, or I'm sorry, CLG has Sona, so they do have Sona to not, you know, allow Curse to get it once again. But I don't know how effective they're going to be at kiting because Rumble, once he throws down that ultimate, it's kind of just going to keep everyone where they are. And then Nocturne with the aggressive jungle will be really aggressive in ganks, and then, you know, particularly strong in team fights. And
you know, we're sticking with Corki. You know, it worked before. It'll keep on working, hopefully. And then
I love this pick though.
Ooh, well, we haven't locked in yet. We could. We're not quite sure yet, but Cassiopeia would be interesting.
Yeah, and you don't see a lot of Cassiopeia, but she's always very strong. See, the thing that people kind of have an issue with Cassiopeia, she's very strong in lane.
Yeah.
She's fantastic for Dragon Control. She's actually arguably the best champion in the game for mid for Dragon Control because she can kill it in a matter of seconds. And then if you're trying to engage while they're dragoning, she's got the perfect counter initiation for the ultimate because, you know, if you're running at her, then you are going to get stunned, and that's really going to be devastating.
And I'm also thinking about the Cassiopeia ult for, you know, works great against the Nocturne, against the Kennen charging at you. There's, you know, we got all these characters with ultimates all engaged about rushing you.
And a ton of AoE by CLG, and that's it. Really, it started off, and it was kind of like you didn't see exactly where they were going. And Curse, you know, they have a very aggressive initiating team, and that's, you know, Rumble's an initiator, Kennen is an initiator, Nocturne's an initiator.
Yep. CLG, you're going on the defensive end here.
They just decided to take a bunch of AoE stuns, and that's going to be.
So we have, you know, we got the damage reduction from Maokai's ult. We have the Galio, so everyone's gonna rush in. Get that Galio ult off, and when everyone's in, we can just see a Cassiopeia ult and then just Graves just clean up everyone from there on out.
It is pretty interesting, though. The Soraka pick is very much a deviation from the rest of their team.
Yeah,
but it was really a smart decision, and it was the fact that they know, you know, they already have initiation covered. Well, they don't want to have to, you know, be rushing into these AoE ultimates from CLG, because that's the big thing. If you have a very initiation-oriented team and the you can't get the fights that you want, then very quickly you just lose control of that game. You know, we kind of saw that last week with Goose. with that game 1 where they had just tons of initiation, but once they lost those fights, they just had nowhere to go from. Well, Soraka is going to give them some kiting capability. Rumble is very effective at poke. He can just sit there and kite, and then if you try and run in, he's very good at picking people off. So it does allow them a little bit of a difference. We could see like a split push Nocturne, if things kind of get out of hand, but we'll see how it goes.
I'm also wondering how effective is Nocturne going to be against this team?
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
he's a solid jungle.
Mm-hmm.
We're not saying he's not a solid jungle, but it's just, we have, Twisted Advance can kind of shut him down. We have 3 ults. They can just stop him dead in his tracks.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's going to be, that good of an initiator as Curse initially planned.
But the big thing is going to be whether Nocturne can, exert his authority or assert his authority over the game before we get into team fights. And once we get into team fights, 1 shield versus 4 AoE stuns, it's not going to work, or 3 AoE stuns, it's not going to work out. But if he can use his mobility and, they've got a really aggressive team. If Nocturne gets on someone with Rumble, that person's going down. If Nocturne gets on someone with Kennen, once again, that's a really devastating combo.
But if Nocturne engages alone, we're hitting a problem.
But if he can, a lot of their team is AoE oriented, and the way to counter an AoE oriented team is try and meet them out, in the open field. Try and get 1v1s. Try and get 3v3s, 2v2s, just smaller team fights. And that's really where Nocturne's going to thrive. And if he can start being aggressive before they get in, they below the ultimate, and he's got the shield. And he's like, oh, okay, you threw off your ultimate, and now you've got nowhere to go to.
I just really hope Rumble does well in lane, because I feel that if Rumble loses top, we may just see the rest of Curse's comp just kind of fall apart.
Yeah.
I feel, because they're really reliant on him to lead the charge, take the brunt of the damage, and really be their leading member.
But at the same time, once again, like I was saying, Galio is a very passive top lane, and that's what HotshotGG wants. He's just going to sit there and farm. He doesn't want to be too aggressive and getting kills, and that's going to benefit CLG to a degree. They're not going to take advantage of Rumble and not allow him to farm, but by not dying to Rumble, that kind of shuts him down some. And that's the big thing. You can never die to Rumble, because once you do, he just snowballs so quickly.
Yep. So these are your teams: CLG running Maokai, Cassiopeia, Galio, Graves, and Sona. Curse is on Kennen, Nocturne, Rumble, Corki, Soraka. This is IPL Killing Spree, Curse versus CLG. We will see you in a minute. Be right back. And we are back. IPL Killing Spree. This is Game 2, Curse versus CLG. Now, Curse did take Game 1 with that very aggressive game, so let's see if they can clean it up here in Game 2 and earn themselves $300. Because that's a good payday, no matter how for an hour or two of play. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all.
And it is pretty interesting to me. Maokai is probably going to be going for a fast Philosopher's Stone. I don't remember if Maokai for Curse, had done kind of the similar build. I think he went with Cloth Armor, so he can jump a little bit more.
I believe so. But right now...
That is just terrible. I'm going to just move away from that Rumble.
Rumble, what are you doing? Stop it. Just stop it. But we are very close. Oh, I think CLG saw them. I think CLG has vision on them getting into the jungle. I think they may just back off.
I don't
they
think
get pings.
They saw them, but they pinged because they thought that maybe there was someone there. They might have seen them, but they don't know where they are.
Oh, they're coming around. Rumble comes in.
Maokai is out of position. Oh, they're going to back off.
There we go. Yeah, we are going to back off. But I think Curse is, go ahead, they've established their position in CLG's jungle. I think they're just going to go ahead and be content with backing off for now. So they did get hit with the sapling. They know they're leaving.
I thought they might maybe go for Wraiths or Red or something. I think they just wanted to be able to take it if no one from CLG knew they were there. So they are going to just back off. But
CLG was kind of scattered because Cassiopeia was nowhere near. She was actually up in the top river.
Mm-hmm. But the one thing that really did do, and it's just actually fantastic play, Saintvicious wasn't able to get any saplings down.
No.
He has one sapling, he just threw another. Usually as Maokai, you would be able to just instantly kill the Wraiths and then move over and start planting things on blue. He did get the Wraiths, and he's probably going to go up to blue now, and that's actually really effective because with the new jungle spawn, these Wraiths will be back by the time he gets back here. He might not. He might just go Wolves. No, he's actually going up to Wraiths.
Yep, in the same vein, also Graves and Sona actually took the small golems, and those will also be back by the time Maokai gets down there.
And
Cassiopeia went top.
That's why I love CLG. I mean, they're probably, they do kind of run more standard comps, but they're probably the most creative team as far as how they want to distribute the lanes. And you see them, they change around lanes all the time. Here they know they don't want to allow Rumble to farm. Well, that's all Galio is going to do. He's going to be like, hey, don't mind me. You just sit there and enjoy yourself. But Cassiopeia is going to be very aggressive in that lane and just, try and zone Rumble.
Yeah, and Hotshot in mid as Galio is actually kind of burning away at a lot of his mana.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's he's not going to be able to, keep that up in, this early on in the laning phase for very long. So then, I want to see how that works against, someone with energy like Kennen, who can just sit there and do whatever he wants all day.
Though again, Galio, he is a very defensive champion.
Right.
He does have a ton of armor and magic resist with that shield, and once he gets a little bit of mana, gets a little bit of mana regen, he is just going to be able to sit there and passively farm, and Kennen won't be able to do anything about it.
Yeah, but for the now, for the now, their creep kills are actually pretty even. But you won't. Galio won't be able to keep that up forever. So he just needs to make his be as efficient as he can for now. When he can get some mana regen, come back in lane and just continue going at it. And Nocturne is now sweeping around. He's sweeping around mid just to see if anything, make anything happen, but he won't. Looks like he's also going to be going towards top lane at Cassiopeia, where there are no wards top lane.
And he does have this double buff. He is level 4, so he's got a 1 level advantage on Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is definitely going to get out. Oh, wow.
You get the Q, just hits her, gets a little shadow trail going, but that's about it. Yeah.
She just backed off at the perfect time. I know that the creep wave wasn't really there, but I guess maybe she saw Rumble tip the hat some.
It does happen sometimes, and if you are ever in top lane or mid lane, and you ever get the notion that your enemy is actually acting kind of strange, not as they usually do, they may have a teammate nearby, and people do play differently when they have someone waiting on them in a bush nearby.
And you kind of had always wondered how Chauster would do as the support role. He doesn't usually play support. He's just kind of a really aggressive player. But here already we see, oh wow, Nocturne coming down, the flash,
Sona
and
out
the
of
flash
position.
from Nocturne, the exhaust, can it go off? There's the fear, and I think she's probably going to go down. There's the red buff.
We need 2 more hits on her, goes down.
He wanted that kill.
Wanted it, and he got it, and he got the first blood. Curse with your first blood, but Rumble up top lane. The poison's going to do something. May not be enough to kill him.
And Cassiopeia very low on mana, but with that passive, can basically spam all day.
Oh, Nocturne and Maokai have a nice little high five over in jungle. So CLG's little opening there in jungle has been warded.
And I think it's interesting. I was literally just about to say how great of a job Sona's been doing, because she's just been harassing both Soraka and Corki all day.
But now the tides have turned ever so slightly.
And I don't understand why Doublelift is sitting in this lane. He's very low health. The creeps are pushed. Just
the silence and a Valkyrie can just take him out immediately.
And he had a great opportunity to recall. He could have just recalled, gotten out of lane, and then gotten back before they came back. I recognize Corki and Soraka are low as well, so you don't want to give them a free farm opportunity. But that was already decided when Sona died. So.
Right.
He's going to sit here. I don't know. They can push the lane some and deny some, experience and whatnot to Corki and Soraka, but he definitely missed an opportunity there.
Yeah. So just a quick 6 minutes in, and Curse has gotten that first blood down bot lane. So I think are we still going to see an aggressive game from Curse this time around? I think we are.
I mean, we already see, Rumble is definitely out of position. Maokai has that red buff. Rumble going in for the kill, is able to pick
Cassiopeia gets out. He twists in advance.
I don't know that Maokai's going to have enough damage.
Yeah, he's just the sapling's just going to come by, and he's not going to do too much. And Maokai was just a few seconds too late. If he made his presence known, that kill could have been prevented, but you know what? Rumble got it.
It's really interesting. You know, Cassiopeia, a very strong laning champion, you know, was kind of a counter to Rumble to a degree.
Yeah.
But once Rumble gets that ultimate, once he gets some levels,
Yeah.
he just has so much damage. Cassiopeia used the ultimate and the flash
No,
trying to get out of there.
no, Cass is 5. She didn't even
she's-
have it.
Oh, wow.
She did not even have her ult yet.
Wow.
That was a very timed.
So it was just perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing. Cassiopeia, not even 6, did not even have that ult. Wonderful engagement by Rumble to get off that kill top
And
lane.
I have to imagine some of it was that Cassiopeia's, you know, kind of trying to bait him in.
Yeah.
Didn't really expect to go down that quickly. You know, really wasn't expecting the ultimate, like you said, and wanted Rammus to be able, or Maokai to be able to get in and get that kill.
So bot lane, and we're still getting some, you know, friendly engagements here and there, but this Curse is actually doing a really good job with their ward coverage right now. They have their Baron, they have their not Baron, they have their Dragon covered. They have the bottom bush covered. Oh, and Nocturne is just
And he is
sneaking
level 6.
on, and he is 6. Has that ult.
We actually have Graves being very aggressive here. He is going to back off, taking a little bit of damage. That might have been a good opportunity for Nocturne to get in, but you know, Graves does have the cleanse and the flash, so it'll be very difficult to take him down.
But that bottom bush is also warded now by CLG. So if Nocturne makes his little advance into that bottom bush, he will be spotted. But right now, I don't think CLG has any idea.
Yeah, but they are playing very defensively. We actually have Rumble doing a little bit of a chase there on Cassiopeia. But if they play defensively,
And here he
Nocturne
comes!
actually gets in onto
They're
Sona.
focusing in on Sona. We're trying to get that second kill off on her. He gets feared, but the tower will take a few hits off on Nocturne.
And we actually have the teleport in from Cassiopeia, or actually from Galio, and he did cancel that teleport from
Yes.
mid. So we have a down teleport. We have, you know, Sona actually didn't have to use the flash, but
That was a lot of
Graves did
damage.
use his.
That was a lot of damage. If that tower, you know, if they were pushed up just a little bit further and were able to, you know, not get within tower range, I think we could have had a kill. But you know what? It's forcing them back, making them a little bit weaker. You know, it's good too. I would take it.
And
And
Cassiopeia
a
did pick
wasted
up that blue,
and a wasted
so-
teleport.
Yeah, wasted teleport. But the blue buff on Cassiopeia will hopefully help her take back control of this lane. She still probably has the damage output advantage on Rumble as long as she keeps her distance.
Right.
And that's the thing. Rumble is really strong at chasing people down. So if she's just a little bit out of position, you know, then Rumble will be able to do very effectively there. I'm a little bit surprised to not see Corki being aggressive on this Graves, but at the same time, they don't have this ward in the brush anymore. So maybe they're concerned that Maokai's, you know, they're trying to bait for a Maokai gank.
Which
but-
he is nearby.
Yep.
So I mean, it's a good call. Good call on their part, you know, not to be too over aggressive. They have the lead. They have the kill lead. They have a little bit of a gold lead. It's nothing significant, but they have it. And I think they want to secure it. I think they want to hold on to it. And I think now it's just, you know, timing, waiting to see if we can start making pushes up on Dragon. Maokai is coming in. Soraka gets slowed,
Slow.
but she does flash away. I'm sure if she's going to be able to get away, though. Raisin with the
wow.
ult just melts her. Wow.
That was a ton of damage.
That was how much damage did he just unload? How much is that
I
ult?
have no idea. It's a couple hundred.
A couple hundred. I mean, it's oh, mouse over that for a second. Let's see how much damage. It's over 300.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was low enough. It mattered. It counted. Got it.
And it is kind of interesting. I was kind of expecting Curse to start, you know, trying to pressure Dragon.
Yeah.
They do have Nocturne. He's much stronger at Dragon than
They have
Maokai is.
the pink ward down. They know it's
Yeah.
not warded, so they know they have, you know, some safety taking it. But CLG is suspicious.
And Soraka's not there. And unfortunately, you know, Nocturne is going to take a ton of
Yeah.
damage. He's already at a third health.
And
with that
Soraka
help
does
from
have her
Soraka.
ult, but you know it's a lot better if you have her, you know, with you in the thick of it. But Rumble is also going ahead and advancing up on top tower, just trying to see how much damage he can do while Cassiopeia is off and away.
He's also going to be denying a lot of experience from Cassiopeia, as you know, all these creeps are just running into the tower.
Mm-hmm.
She's already behind. Rumble, you know, very strong at this point in the game. He does have that Hextech revolver, which is going to give him some fantastic lane sustain.
I called it Champ Select, so Kennen and Rumble both with those revolvers.
Mm-hmm.
Double guns ablazing. 11 minutes in. Curse is still up 1 kill, but the gold advantage, it's just pretty much even at this point.
Yeah.
And we can also take a look at creep score, because Rumble does have a little bit of advantage over on Cassiopeia. And actually, Curse has kind of like a small lead in almost, you know, in top, in mid. bot, still somewhat even.
But Corki, does have some nice items, is really prepared to, start dealing some damage a little bit further ahead in the build than Graves is. And Corki, definitely since being that early game DPS carry, kind of looking for their opportunities, and they're looking for the point in time when they can just kind of take control. They don't see Maokai though, which is interesting. They haven't had some wards down here in a while.
Sona did pink ward Dragon and took out Curse's ward. So you do know something is up, and Soraka is down trying to take out their pink ward as well. It's just ward wars.
Yeah, but Maokai has kind of actually been wasting a lot of his time. We saw for about a minute he sat in this bottom brush. Then he's kind of been, wandering around this river, not farming, not ganking other lanes. And it's all because of Dragon. If you can force a kill or force the enemy to back in this bottom lane, that's when you get your Dragon opportunities. And, Dragon is really just so important in this game.
Nocturne spent his fair share in the bot lane bushes as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think we have equal time lost on bot lane on both Maokai and Nocturne's end. So I think it's about equal. But Curse is going to go ahead. They know it's warded, but they're going for it anyway. Let's see if CLG can come in and do anything about it. Wonderful ult by Nocturne just to obscure the vision while they finish off Dragon. Great.
And Rumble in the meantime is facing off with Cassiopeia. They both get the kills.
Oh, haymakers, double haymaker, right there by Baron.
But even so, I think trading kills is definitely going to be more to the advantage of Rumble than it is Cassiopeia. Rumble, once again, just getting any sort of gold allows him to be particularly effective throughout this mid game and then carrying forward through the late game.
Yeah, and they're both losing time in lane, but Rumble's ahead.
Yeah.
So if they both have to die, Rumble still is winning overall. So we have our first Dragon has gone to Curse. They still the gold lead is still quite small. It's only about 1K. And still, we haven't really seen a whole lot going on in mid. It's just been a very passive mid lane.
Yeah. And I think the key here is, I guess, Kennen just realized not going to be able to deal enough damage to Galio, so really just focusing on farming, trying to maybe look for some opportunities as the game progresses to leave lane and, maybe start roaming some to get some damage moving around. But I think, really right now what we're seeing is Curse is just content to let this game drag a little bit until they feel they have an advantage. And, same thing with CLG. CLG knows they have all of these great ultimates, so, they're very comfortable with just playing a very passive game and waiting to see kind of what happens.
Yeah, bot lane, Corki took a little bit of damage on the last push by Graves. So I think CLG is definitely trying to make something happen bot lane since not a whole lot is happening elsewhere. See, can we take a tower? Can we, put some aggression out there, trying to keep them at bay, and then just take a tower hit and kind of backs off.
And it should be pretty interesting. I think this is a good decision by CLG. They do have the teleport up on Galio. And, that teleport, getting Cassiopeia to mid lane where she can be more effective is really going to help them out a lot because they want to get her involved in this game. And then, Galio, he's really not going to have that much trouble with Rumble. Rumble is very aggressive, but Galio will have that shield to mitigate some damage. And then a lot of Rumble's damage actually comes from the passive and, that magic damage that he adds to his auto attack. So
and Nocturne is making his way, he's snaking his way upriver, is not warded.
But in the meantime, we actually have a Sona ult and Maokai going off. They are able to pick up the kill onto Soraka there. Screen got away from me for a second, but Kennen coming
and Kennen's kind of walking in, not away.
Wow,
Flashes into the bush. Psychic flash.
And not
Sona manages to get away though, but Kennen realizing that he has just flashed to his own doom.
And Galio teleported in. There was that teleport.
Yeah.
Knows, he can turn any fight to his team's advantage. Probably wasn't necessary. They were already winning that engagement.
Yeah.
Rumble, he'll probably be able to take this tower here, so that kind of helps balance it out some.
That was just a psychic flash. That was just it's like he just knew that, they weren't going to be moving from that bush. They're not going to be making any moves from there. Just go ahead, might as well go for it, try and get Sona, but managed to, she did end up dying in the end, but, in that engagement, just barely got away.
He is going to meet up with Cassiopeia here. He throws off the shield, throws off the fear. He is going to be okay getting out of there. I don't know. It should be pretty interesting to see where the game goes from now.
It's still ridiculously even.
Yeah, we did see like the first, kind of coordination from CLG though. And,
Right.
They kind of, I don't know, Kennen thought that he was going to be able to accomplish something, and CLG really just with all those AoEs, with the kiting capability of Sona, nothing's there. So
right.
If CLG can start forcing team fights, that could really just spells disaster for Curse if they're forced to start engaging into these ultimates.
And both teams just need to do what they can to just not get caught, because it's that can really turn the game for either team right now because it is so even. Catching one, especially a support, if you catch Sona or Soraka off guard, manage to throw them out of the fight, one team can go ahead, they can push, take 1-2 towers, maybe even Baron.
But CLG, they know how strong they are as a team right now, so they're really looking to just move around. Whereas Curse, they'd be much more comfortable with a longer laning phase.
CLG had vision on Soraka in the bot river, so they just use the opportunity to just go take that tower and let's get out of here.
And I would probably expect them to push this top tower soon. They're probably going to wait actually for Galio's teleport to be up. It's got about another 4 minutes. But once this teleport's up, send Galio down bot lane as a team. Just sit on this Baron. And really, that'll be around 22 minutes in the game. That'll be about when they could do it. Nocturne is taking his blue.
He's taking blue, but he might be staying there too long. Oh, he just barely gets away from that. But the Rumble ult coming down. Kennen comes in with the ult. Kennen's being focused. Sona ult comes in.
Sona.
Oh, Galio goes down real quick.
Huge damage.
And Rumble just managed to get tacked on. Corki goes down. Oh, Nocturne. Wow. For a second there, I could not see who was being focused. Everyone was just one big mash. One big mash of champions in that one blue bush.
And CLG, the coordination with their ultimates was really just way too effective. It looked like Curse might turn it around. They started off with a great advantage, caught everyone in Rumble and Kennen's ultimate. But if they can't pick up the kills in those ultimates, they're really going to need to play a little bit more passively, poke CLG down some, and this is going to result in this tower being down. And just further advantage for
put
CLG.
Some damage on mid tower as well as Maokai goes in and starts walking around and just taking everything from Curse's jungle. In the process of doing that right now. So we're almost hitting the 20-minute mark. Dragon comes right back up, and CLG, I don't know. Are they in position to take it? I'm not sure. I don't think they are not anymore. Because now we got the whole wave. We got Curse all coming down, and it was one unit just trying to just close in on the Dragon.
I'm a little bit surprised. CLG has a team where they want to control strategic points. They want to control towers. They want to control Dragon. They want to control Baron.
And they're just giving it away.
They've got a team, fighting team. They didn't make any effort at all for that.
No.
So that is going to help Curse out. It is a very even game at this point, as far as gold is concerned.
Yeah, towers not so much.
Yeah.
Towers not so much. So we have both 2 towers down, bot lane for Curse, and Cassie here is trying to make something happen. Top tower, Rumble's just coming in. He's gonna get very wise backing off. He knew he was walking into a trap right into that bush. He was about to get sandwiched. Throws down his, and the sapling is over there. That could have been a really, really bad walk into the bush.
But they do have plenty of damage on both teams. That'll be really key for Curse for whether or not they can hold out to the point where the AoEs aren't doing much. We got Rumble and Kennen initiating on Graves here, but Graves is perfectly fine. Flashes out of there. Nocturne jumping after Cassiopeia as well. They're chasing down Rumbles here, but nothing's happening up top. CLG is not going down, and now Graves is turning it back on them. There's Nocturne. Are they going to be able to pick up the Soraka? And yes, they are.
No, Soraka flashes away. Sona gets blasted.
Kennen actually able to pick up the Sona kill down south a little bit, but that's
Kennen is still healthy. Corki's still healthy.
I'm surprised. I thought that fight was won by CLG, but
I thought it was too.
To kind of stimmy the
and they do have a little bit of an advantage in health. Maokai is taking the front. Galio comes in with the ult, just melts Rumble, and now Curse is in retreat.
I thought Galio had ulted already. I was very surprised to see that flash. I think Curse was a little bit surprised too. They should have expected it though.
Maokai is one hit away, just one auto attack away from falling. With these minions take the damage from the tower. And we will have another tower for CLG.
The delayed victory on that fight. Another tower, is going to give them something of a gold advantage. They're up by 4,000 gold now. When it was just 1,000 just a second ago. So,
wow,
I was a little bit surprised to see Curse so aggressively engaging the second time, though. You know, Rumble, he thought he could take them down. He does have that realize, you know, which will help him, you know, chase people down very effectively. But they basically, all of Curse just walked right into that Galio ultimate.
And you know, granted, you know, Kennen did have, you know, good kill on Sona, isolating her out, taking her out away from the rest of the team. But you know, once you re-engage, you know, Galio still had that ult saved and ready to go. And that was just that. It was the ult that did it. It was really the Galio ult that did it. So
Well,
22 minutes in, CLG now taking a little bit better of a goal lead after that last team fight, and now we're just you know, Graves is going to go ahead and take their red. We're going to get a nice little push up in mid.
we'll see where they go with items.
Yeah.
You know, we do know there is a cleanse on Corki. That's going to help them out a lot. But I would really like to see an Aegis on Soraka, and that might be where she's building.
Yep.
But because we have all of this AoE damage, you know, the aura is just going to really help our team out a lot. And, you know, I don't know if they can get some survivability. That's really going to be key for Curse, whether or not they can get the survivability to live through these ultimates. They lived that last fight, and generally I would think that they are a little bit stronger outside once those ultimates are down. But unfortunately, they weren't able to capitalize. And, you know, Galio, you know, CLG doing a very effective job of stretching out their ultimates and, you know, not necessarily blowing them all at once. And so Galio's, you know, he's still at his ultimate, so they can still be very effective in that fight.
Rumble and Kennen actually have very similar builds. You know, we have Merc Treads, Woda, and Rylai's. Or Rylai's will be bought on Kennen momentarily once he gets the gold. And so we got the double slow, we got the double spell vamp, we got the double bonus. But you know what? I'm not seeing the benefit of it though. I'm not really seeing it being used very effectively because, you know, if you're being melted, slow doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, they have the extra health, and health is always good.
It is a very strong build, but I will agree with you. I mean, it is kind of, it pushes back your stronger items. It pushes back the damage of like a Rabadon's. It pushes back the survivability, but we have the Rumble ult, and they were already taking a ton of damage from the Baron, and Nocturne ulting into the middle of the team. He's got really nowhere to go. He's got to get out of there quickly.
Yeah, Nocturne has to
and
flash
they are
away.
going down quickly. Curse, we do have Rumble going down. We do have Kennen as well, and they have got to just run for it. Soraka is going to go down as well. CLG.
Rumble and Kennen just walked right out in front. It's like, hey guys, free kill, come and get it, and they just let them have it. It's important. Here's out of position on that fight.
And I think Curse is probably being a little bit too aggressive. They,
Yeah.
you know, these fights are almost turning their way, and so I think that's it. They're you know, getting a little bit excited. They think they can get kills, but
Yeah, we
the
saw
Rumble
this
ultimate,
with Goose last week too.
Yeah, but the Rumble ultimate wasn't going to be able to get a kill. The Nocturne ultimate wasn't going to be able to do anything. Wow, did Corki go down? There's the red buff, able to pick up the kill.
Last tick.
Here's an inhibitor. This is, you know, really
Well,
close to
we-
GG.
yeah, with Corki
for
down, we
CLG.
might be able to just keep pushing and go for it. Or they just leave the one hit, let the minion get it.
Though at the same time, Galio, he does drop off pretty significantly as the game goes on, but he will have that ultimate,
Yep.
and Cassiopeia has fantastic damage output. They're still chasing here, trying to get away. We do have that Shirelia's from Sona is going to get them out of there, though.
So we have a nice little, you know, tactical retreat by CLG. Just trying to reset. You know, they are in the lead, but Graves is getting a little bit caught. But that tower, that first tier tower in mid, is still up. So he doesn't have to run very far in order to regain his positional advantage.
Yeah, and CLG, it looked like they might have to recall, which, you know, would be terrible because it would give Curse basically a free Baron. But
Right.
Actually, they are
They are recalling.
here, but they did kind of sit around long enough so that Curse doesn't really know what's going on.
Curse is not
able to
aware. Curse is not aware of them going back to base right now because we have an Oracles on CLG kind of taking out, you know, all of their war. See, now the late game is actually kind of going in the reverse almost, because Curse first game they had their Oracles, they were clearing out the vision. CLG now doing the same.
And here we do have Galio pushing this bottom lane. His teleport is back up. It's in about an 8-minute cooldown. But, you know, if his team can pressure that top, they are doing very well in fights, and it seems to be they're almost winning these fights without Galio. But then if he can start pressuring this bot lane and then teleport up to his team, that'll be really effective.
Yeah, Galio's presence in these team fights is just really just an added bonus. It's like, hey guys, you want to take a 2-second break? I got my ult. Don't worry about it. So, and Nocturne is just going to go ahead and meet Galio in bot lane. Just let him know, it's like, all right, I'm here. You're not, you know, not while I'm here. Back off a little bit. But where Sona is over getting that coverage, she has the oracles, wants to make sure that Baron is not warded, wants to secure that location.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't really know where Curse is going to go. I mean, really, what they need to do is stall the game. We do see an Aegis on Nocturne, so it's really strong for his team. I would have rather had it on Soraka. Nocturne, the health will benefit him a lot. It is a very good item purchase, but I don't know. I would like him to get into further and further late game builds. He does have the
so we're gonna get some. So CLG now has the vision on some members of Curse in mid, which is now the signal for them to go ahead and start on Baron. And it looks like Curse is now, they see Galio drifting over towards Baron. The light has been lit.
I'm not sure.
Red, yellow,
whether
green.
They can fight this though.
They can't really do much about this though. It's. I mean, maybe we could have had a Rumble ult to try and do something while they're all still in the pit, but now it's just go ahead, retreat.
But that's what happened last time, and now they're even further behind than
we
they
got
were last time.
we got the Shirelias being popped on both ends. It was like, oh, we gotta engage, we gotta catch them up. Oh, you guys have one too. But they will be pushing them back to Nexus turrets because their mid inhibitor is down. So this is still a real now we're just all defensive on Curse.
Yeah.
All defensive on Curse.
Well, and they know that if they lose this next team fight, it's game over.
Oh yeah.
Like there's just no question about it. So
you have
Galio
two
really
free
aggressive.
towers and 2 free inhibitors at least.
Yeah. But Galio, pretty close, to getting his ultimate. He does have his flash up. I would be really careful if I was Curse about my positioning here. Corki is actually pretty low. They are able to take the inhibitor though. Just going to kind of passively push down these towers.
Yeah, so they can just go ahead, wander off. This is really no big deal. They can't really press the issue on the inhibitors. They have really no other option but just go retreat to the Nexus turrets and see if they can't do something about it. But with that Baron buff, I'm not sure if they will be able to.
And there we actually have the ultimate from Rumble, but this is just an act of desperation. It really doesn't do anything. Wow, Curse just exploding.
Yeah.
Nocturne jumping into the middle of the team, but he is very close to going down. There's actually the flash from Sona, so that's going to be able to pick up the kill. Graves picking up the kill onto Rumble. Corki, just barely able to get out of there, but Kennen went down as well. And this is going to be GG.
Those are the GGs.
There's
the
the surrender
vote. So game 2
complete
turnaround will go to CLG, so we will be going to game number 3.
Victory.
Oh man, it's just night and day.
Yeah,
night and day between these two games.
We saw game 1, the early game went to Curse just so quickly. They had no opportunities. This is not going for me. Okay. Game 1 went so quickly to Curse in the early game, so what did CLG do? They built an all-early game team. They kind of went all in with this massive AoE comp. It really worked out for them. They were able to win every single team fight, basically. They lost a couple of kills outside of that, but just really effective play and able to push that advantage.
Now, I'm also looking at the item builds here, and Kennen was, we saw Kennen getting the items ready for Rylai's, went ahead and bought a Void Staff instead, kept the belt.
Yeah, that's a little bit surprising. There wasn't a lot of magic resist.
Yeah.
Probably not the most effective item choice. They did have some magic resist. Galio had magic resist, but you're not going to be looking to kill Galio. That's not Kennen's role. Graves had some nice magic resist, but I don't know. I think they probably needed to see if they could maybe get Cassiopeia in these fights, and maybe even Sona work their way from there. I would have thought that this would have been enough damage output, particularly with this double AP comp, but it didn't work out for them. They didn't build enough damage, they didn't have enough survivability for these ultimates, and being over-aggressive in these fights, it just quickly turned around on them.
Yep, and not to mention, Graves also had a pretty good game on his own, 10-0 and 8, just sitting in the back, just, firing away all day, and that's what happens.
Well, we're going to be back in a second. This is actually game 2 goes to CLG, so it's 1-1 in the series.
Yep, we will be back.
I don't know where it's going to go.
We will be back in just a moment with game 3, Curse versus CLG. This is IPL Killing Spree. See you in a minute.